very good, Daddy.
Yes, I was quite pleased with it.
But it didn't get a star.
Did you ever notice the TV that magically disappears in Peppa's Christmas episode? Or what about the ice cream cones that vanish in thin air without a single lick? These are just some of the hilarious animation mistakes that even the biggest Peppa Pig fans might have overlooked. Today, we will reveal 10 incredible mistakes in Peppa Pig that will make you see your favorite show in a whole new way.
No, if you want to go to the fish pond, you need to go up that path.
Number 1. No table. In the episode, Peppa decorates the Christmas tree. When they install the tree in the room, you can see there is a TV under the frame which has a Santa picture and a glass pot with fish in it. Dad went up the ladder to fix the star, and when he came down, he asked the daughter to stop singing. But while he is talking, you can see an empty space behind him, right under the frame. If you notice the TV vanishes on its own, there is nothing behind. Empty. But right in the next scene, the TV comes back on the spot. It seems like the TV was teleported to somewhere else, and in nowhere, it was back.
It is a lovely tree. Thank you for carrying it all the way home, Daddy Pig.
Number 2. The Vanishing Teacher Mystery. Here's a fascinating mistake that happened during Emily Elephant's big moment. In the episode where Emily Elephant is being introduced to the class, something really strange happens with Madame Gazelle. When the scene begins, we see Emily standing nervously at the front of the classroom with Madame Gazelle right beside her, which makes perfect sense, right? After all, what teacher wouldn't stand next to a new student to help them feel comfortable on their first day? But then something magical happens. In the very next shot, when all the children are greeting Emily with their excited, "Hello, Emily Elephant," Madame Gazelle completely disappears. She's just gone. No explanation. She simply vanishes into thin air. 1 second, she's there being a supportive teacher, and the next, poof.
Emily Elephant.
Hello, Emily. Hello.
Emily is a bit shy.
Number 3. The Vanishing Ice Cream Mystery. This one will absolutely blow your mind. In the episode The Fish Pond, we catch one of the most baffling disappearing acts in Peppa Pig history. The scene starts with Peppa and George happily walking to the pond, each holding a delicious-looking ice cream cone. You know, just a normal day of treats for our favorite piggy siblings. But here's where things get wild. While Daddy Pig is having a conversation with Miss Rabbit, the camera does a quick zoom in and zoom out. Nothing unusual about that, right? Wrong! When the camera zooms back out, Peppa and George's ice creams have completely vanished into thin air. Now, we all know Peppa and George love their treats, but this is impossible. Unless they've developed some sort of super speed eating powers, there's no way they could have finished those ice creams in a split second between camera shots. We didn't see any licking, no biting, not even a single drip of melted ice cream. They just disappeared.
Next stop, the fish pond. This way.
Oh, you don't want to go that way.
Number 4. The Magic Boat Controls. If you thought magic only happened on land, wait until you see this. In the episode Desert Island, Granddad Dog, Grandpa Pig, and Granny Rabbit go fishing in a boat that seems to have a mind of its own. At first, we clearly see the boat has a flagpole, steering wheel, and a gear lever. But watch closely. When they reach their destination, the gear lever completely disappears. But the story doesn't end there. When Daddy Dog comes to rescue them, his boat's gear lever keeps playing hide and seek. First, it's on the edge, far from the steering wheel. Then it suddenly jumps near the steering wheel. And finally, poof, it vanishes entirely. Seriously, where can we find these magical self-transforming boats?
Grampy Rabbit's boat is sinking.
Don't panic!
Number 5. The Self-Closing Door Mystery. In the rainy day episode of George Catches a Cold, we find the pig family rushing inside their house to escape the heavy rain. Pretty typical English weather, right? When the family first comes inside, we can clearly see the door wide open behind Daddy Pig. Makes sense. They just came through it, and everyone's probably more focused on getting dry than closing doors. You can even see the rain still pouring outside through the open doorway. But here's where it gets weird. Just a few seconds later, without anyone moving towards it, without any wind blowing, and without any explanation, the door is suddenly closed. And above all, their umbrellas are also gowns. Nowhere to be found around them at all.
George, you must keep your hat on.
Why?
Because you must keep dry.
Number 6. Mr. Dinosaur's Bedtime Magic. This one is absolutely crazy, and it happens in the episode New Shoes. When Peppa gets her shiny new red shoes, everyone's excited. But Mr. Dinosaur seems to have learned some disappearing tricks. Here's where it gets interesting. When Mummy Pig is talking to Peppa about her new shoes at bedtime, take a really good look at George's bed. You'll notice it's completely empty. No toys, no dinosaurs, nothing at all. Pretty normal so far, right? But wait for it, because something magical is about to happen. When George says goodnight just moments later, suddenly Mr. Dinosaur appears right next to him on the bed. George's favorite toy just materializes out of nowhere. No one placed it there. No one brought it in. It's like Mr. Dinosaur has mastered the art of teleportation.
Peppa even wants to wear her new shoes in bed.
Peppa, are you sure you don't want to take your shoes off?
Number 7. The mysterious color-changing artwork. Here's a mistake that will make artists do a double take. In the episode Playgroup Star, we see Peppa earn her very first star for making a wonderful drawing of her house. When Peppa first shows her masterpiece to Madame Gazelle, the drawing has a plain white background, just like any normal piece of paper would have. Nothing unusual there, right? The drawing gets its star, and Peppa proudly displays it on the wall, still with its pristine white background. But later in the episode, when Peppa asks Daddy Pig if he ever got a playgroup star himself, something magical happens to Peppa's artwork. When we return from the flashback and see the classroom again, Peppa's drawing has suddenly developed a bright blue background.
Yes, Peppa.
Are you sad that you never got a playgroup star, Daddy?
Number 8. The Wandering Wall Art. Here's one that'll make artists and physicists scratch their heads. In the episode Richard Rabbit Comes to Play, we get to see some of Peppa and George's artistic talents on display. When Susie Sheep enters the room, there are 2 drawings on the wall, a lovely elephant and a whimsical fairy. Pretty normal for a children's bedroom, right? But then, something extraordinary happens. When the camera zooms out, these drawings suddenly decide to defy gravity and leap higher up the wall, ending up even higher than the bed. It's like the artwork got inspired by Peppa's love of jumping in muddy puddles and decided to do some jumping of its own.
Richard is using toy trees to make a jungle.
Number 9. The incredible shrinking and growing puddle. This mistake is perfect for a show famous for its muddy puddles. In the episode Kylie Kangaroo, Peppa shows Kylie how to jump in muddy puddles. At first, we see a small, modest puddle. Nothing special, right? But watch what happens when the characters start jumping. The puddle magically changes size with each jump, growing and shrinking like it has a life of its own. Even by Peppa Pig standards, this is one extraordinary puddle.
Roo has got a big umbrella to shelter everyone from the rain.
Food's ready.
Number 10. The museum's magical wall. And for our final mind-blowing mistake, we're taking a trip to the museum. In the museum episode, Peppa and her family are enjoying a day of culture and history. While Peppa is admiring a beautiful crown on display, perhaps dreaming of being Princess Peppa, we get a good look at her surroundings. Behind her is a plain purple wall. Nothing special about it. Just your typical museum wall, right? But hold on to your hats, because this is where things get wild. When the camera zooms in, boom! That plain purple wall suddenly transforms into an elegant glass cabinet. It's like the museum hired a magician as their interior decorator. But wait, there's more. When the camera zooms out again, we're back to the purple wall. as if nothing ever happened.
What did they do all day?
Which mistake was your favorite? Was it the vanishing teacher mystery, the disappearance of ice cream, or the mysterious color-changing artwork? Let us know in the comments below.
Good question, Peppa. If you see him, you should ask.